Hey, good afternoon. Do you appreciate the ripple of water that's in that video and just the way we affect the industry by just dropping information, all kinds of great stuff, wisdom, insights, and ideas, and including a shop tour each and every week here on Aftermarket Weekly. And we're coming to you live from the Dorman OE Fix studio. It's Carm Capriato. Nice to have you here. I just love doing this show. This is such a cool show to do each and every week. I have a guest host. I have a shop tour, and I hope you were with us last week when we did the Dorman studio tour. We did the tour at Dorman. I was in Philadelphia last week. Hey, good to have you all here. By the way, it is Carm Capriato. Listen, if you're hanging out with us on social media, please check in with your city. A like is always kind of cool, and if you have a comment or even a question for my guests at all, and give us a share. We're hanging out there on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and of course we're live on my website. Hey, let's see who's here with me today. Oh boy, two really good and very successful shop owners. Chris I practiced it for the last 10 minutes, Chris, before I got on. Chris Cloutier. I didn't say that right, but I've known this guy for so long, and I always junked his name. In the last episode we did together, I think I got it right, and now I just goofed it up. Golden Rule Auto Care and the CEO of Autotex.me. Hello, Chris.
Hey, Carm, how you doing? And remember, it's Clue.
That's right.
That's it. Clue.
Clue. Thank you. It's Cloutier. And Sam Craven's here from the Garagisty in Houston, Texas. Hello, Sam.
You got that name good.
Yeah, I don't know why I got that right, Sam. The Garagisty, and I actually practiced that too because it is so tough to you look at it and you say that can't be the Garagisty.
Yeah, I was kind of back and forth of whether to use the name, but then I figured, if they're having a hard time pronouncing it, they'll probably remember it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. and so what's really cool is Sam. Let's show a picture of Sam's place. We're going to get a tour of his joint, and let me see here. There it is. And it's so big on the side of the building that you can't miss it. You just have to work it and then get it. And Sam's a very new shop owner. And actually, we had Sam on a show, and I'll tell you what it is. But for both of you guys, how's business?
Go ahead, Sam.
Well, every month is bigger than the last. I know nothing except for the COVID shop environment. So nothing but positivity over here. I mean, the only month that has been a down month is the month that we had a freeze in Houston. Other than that, every single month has been bigger than the last since literally our first month. So,
wow, I don't get this freeze thing. You guys are in Texas, both of you.
This is weird, Carm. It was really weird. I mean, usually it's about an hour. This was several days. And you talk about shut down the state. Actually, we shut down the power grid. That's how big of a deal it was.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I remember
power
that.
Grid thing. Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
It was because of was it because of the freeze, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hour. Usually an hour. Yeah.
Chris is in Dallas and Sam is in Houston. I got two Texanites here. Chris, how's business for you?
I'm going to say the same thing as Sam. We've been blowing and going. It's been good. And you know me, Carm, I'm one of those people who's like, oh, this is too good to be true.
Yeah.
When does this all end? Because, we got through COVID and it's like, whew. And now we're like, oh crap, we have too much work and not enough people. And we're like, how could that happen all within a year? Right. We're on and then watch the end of the summer. We're going to be like, damn, where'd all those cars go?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But it's been beautiful so far.
I'm so happy for both of you guys, and I'm so happy you're beating, the expectations. Auto Care and the and AASA, did a joint survey. What's going on with the industry? 11% growth this year. I mean, for the next 2 years, I think they say, and then it may settle down into a 4% growth in 3 or 4 years from now. But it's a phenomenal number. And yet we've got supply chain issues in getting all the product in and out to you guys. So it's so interesting. Hey, this show, we celebrate, great wisdom from our guests. We see a shop tour, but you also get a chance to find out what's going on and what we're doing here on the Aftermarket's premier podcast. By the way, here's something I want to show you about an episode that I did with Chris recently. I'm calling it a classic right now, Chris, because it was so good. Interesting new tech. And that was episode, 638, 638 with Chris. That was really cool. You were on top of your game, Chris.
I don't know. We were geeking out. That's for sure. I think I went a little deep in some of the topics that we discussed, but I agree. It was a good one. And you were just talking about your tour and seeing some printed parts right before this. So
yeah.
Cool, right? Already being applied in the real world.
You're right, Chris. That's the reality. When I was there, I was thinking back to this episode, which is why I wanted to put it up here. And also, Sam was with us in Town Hall Academy 225. Sam, I don't know, maybe a month ago, we got together building customer trust, and that was your first episode with us, and I sure do appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Hey, look, here's our agenda for today. We're going to, frankly, talk about meetings with Chris, and then we're going to see the shop tour a little later on. I have a really cool trivia thing, and don't forget the podcast comes out every Saturday, and it's on the Remarkable Results radio podcast stream, and you could hear it on just about any place you'd like. Something new and neat and different from Dorman.
Dorman consistently is looking for improved solutions to help save time and money for those who are performing the repairs. Dorman's all-in-one loaded backing plate solution does just that. With zero assembly required, you can now stop disassembling multiple pieces to make backing plate and e-brake repairs. Dorman's loaded backing plates deliver a complete solution. This assembly replaced all the failure-prone components by combining parking brake shoes and hardware onto the backing plate. The pre-mounted parking brake shoes, springs, and clips for a bolt and go solution. Want to know more about Dorman? Well, visit dormanproducts.com/tour. Hey, would you like to learn more about Dorman's innovations? Visit dormanproducts.com/tour.
Oh, yeah, I was in that building last week. Hey, here's the trivia tease for you guys. If you know this, we'll wait till the end, guys. What year launched the Corvette ZR1? They nicknamed the King of the Hill. And I don't know if both of you guys are old enough to even remember that. You were probably just young kids at that time, right?
Yeah, I have no idea. I couldn't even answer that question.
That's okay. That's okay. I couldn't either until I looked it up, but
Me neither, Carm.
that's what I do here. Hey, a new episode came out today, this morning. A growth opportunity in a satellite location. A lot of people talk about, do I need a branch, or do I just need a place where I can kind of shuffle my vehicles and close enough to the shop where we don't really need to duplicate all of our peoples and all of our And this was a great episode because Tom fell into something really cool 2 or 3 miles away from his place. It's a great episode. We also released a show with Matt Fonslow called Journaling. And Matt really wanted to talk about writing a diary and personal case study on all the things that you learn as an individual, be it if you're a leader or a technician. That was really cool. And of course, the Town Hall Academy from the previous week, a shop new build. We were in Seth Thorson's place and Troy Vantanetti. We also published a show on selling batteries that we did the week before. It was a Carmcast. Listen, if you're not selling 100+ batteries a year, shame on you. Shame on you. Listen to this episode and figure out how these guys do it. And it's really, really simple, and it's really, really easy. Well, Chris, let's talk about meetings. And I know that, you're a great leader in your company, in both of your companies, but you got to have meetings, but they have to be good meetings, right?
I agree. And this is, let me just say this, Carm, this is like one of the sexiest topics that we could cover. Because I know every shop owner out there is like, yes, Chris finally gets to talk about something interesting, and it's meetings. So let me just preface the conversation with that, right? Meetings are probably the most boring and but they're the most critical thing we can do in our operation, Carm, right? They're where we get to communicate with our teams. And I think a lot of times we say, no, we're communicating all day with our team in these little chunks and clips and phrases throughout the day, but then we're not really getting to disseminate the message that we want to our team. So I'm very big on meetings, and I'm very big on as you said, putting together a good meeting. And that means you start with an agenda, just like you do with your show. Anything that we do, you should have some sort of outline or blueprint to start with. Because if not, what happens, Carm? What happens if you don't have an agenda in your meeting, in your show? It goes off the rails, right?
It goes wild, and you can't even, if nobody knows what's going on around the next corner, it gets boring to a lot of people.
Absolutely. And in your agenda, I think one of the things that we do in my meetings, especially the monthly meeting when I have all the employees, is I ask a question that I know is going to elicit some response. And it's going to be controversial because I want people to engage. A lot of the other things people are going to engage on, but so I'm going to put content in my meeting that's going to get my team to engage. I'm not going to necessarily have to agree. But then also one thing I've learned about Toastmasters, and one thing you've learned about your show, and one thing we learn about presentations is make sure you cap it. So a lot of times people will introduce some interesting topic and then it'll go on for 20, 30 minutes. And that's way too long. So you definitely need to chunk out the amounts of time that people spend on these different topics, right? And whether that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and you cut it off, or if you let it get a little bit longer, sometimes you let us go a little bit longer on a topic, that's okay. But you need to designate those times. If it's an hour meeting, make sure you're not going way over an hour. Because if you do that, your people are going to continuously say, respect my time. I've got family. I've got other things I've got to deal with. So I think that once again, an agenda with time slots and making it engaging in the different topics that you have within the meeting, I think are very important.
What would be a question, Chris, that you would ask that would incite a little excitement?
Oh, so we just talked about that industry problem that it was a shop. I'm going to get it totally right. I had all my notes here and I'm not looking at them, but there was a lady who sued one of the franchises for, remember, they went in for a safety inspection. It went out and they didn't look at the tires properly and they passed her. And then a couple days later, she got in a bad accident. And then, so the topic was, hey, what do we do in that situation? What would you do as a technician? What should we do as a shop? What are our legal responsibilities? What are our non-legal responsibilities? And that, when you got 20 people talking about, well, wow, you can get sued for letting somebody go when their tires are showing steel, or this is heavy stuff, right? I mean, so it elicited a whole lot of response, and the response is, what do we do? What should we do? Have we had other customers that have done this? Oh, remember that customer came in that we had this happen? Oh yeah. Did we handle it right? Should we done better with it? So it was a very good conversational piece for the whole group to get engaged and realize, hey, there's some liability in this business. And here's a perfect example. It was millions of dollars that they settled for out of court. They didn't take responsibility, but they certainly settled 12 million, I think 16 million, something like that. It was a lot of money.
Wow, it was huge. Now, time, do you limit? I mean, when the time that's allotted for the meeting is over with, is the meeting over?
Meeting's over. Yes. I'm been in Toastmasters. We had a conversation, I believe, with Craig in one of their episodes. I think it was 377. I'm just kidding. I don't know. But it was one of the episodes and it was Toastmasters. And Toastmasters, you come up with an agenda. And in the agenda, it has times next to every segment of your meeting. So I like to have times, roundabout times, to know how long I can go with each section. And I've been doing it for so long where I'm pretty dialed in. I know how much I can spend on this, and then I kind of give and take, and the meeting ebbs and flows as it goes along. Because I absolutely, especially in a shop, when we've been busy, you can't take them out for too long. Because I do weekly meetings with my managers, and then I do team meetings monthly with everybody, but the team meetings are after hours. With my managers, I have to make sure that I'm not wasting their time, because they need to get back and do what they got to do, and that's run a shop, and that's keep people in and out.
Chris, do you have different leaders lead the meeting, or is it always you?
In the monthly meeting, I allow the leaders to talk if they have a topic. I'll typically ask them ahead of time, hey, do you have something that you want to discuss? And a lot of times I'll put them just in the rotation. They know they're going to get a couple minutes to talk if they want to, because I have what I consider two leaders at each shop. I have, my service manager, and then I have my head technician. Everybody calls them different, but the person who runs the back of the house, the person who runs the front of the house, and they typically have a chance to speak at every meeting. And then when we're just meeting the three of us, absolutely, I go over our numbers. We go over the things and our benchmarks, our KPIs. Are we hitting them? And then my question at the end after we go over all those numbers is, hey, do y'all have anything that y'all would like to discuss right now? How's it go with employees? Are there any topics that we need to bring up right now to deal with?
The team meeting, Chris, is it a 15-minute meeting? Is it a half
hour? The team meeting is an hour.
Is an hour.
The team meeting
And
is an
that's
hour.
monthly.
That's monthly, correct.
And is it stand up in the shop? Is it sit down chairs in a bay? Where's the
It
environment?
is correct. So at one shop, we're a little bit small. So when we invite both teams over, we're sitting in the bay and we're sitting in bay one. At the other shop, we have a little bit bigger meeting room. So we bring everybody inside. And we do, I'm not going to solicit, bringing beer to the meeting, everything else, but yeah, okay. We do, we buy our guys food and we buy them drinks. And I came from Southwest Airlines for a long time. At Southwest Airlines, when you went and met with your manager at 3:30 on a Friday afternoon, you're popping open a beer with your manager. Now the liability got really heavy with Southwest. They got really big and they had to stop that. But I think that's okay. I know there's some people like, no, don't want to be around my guys drinking. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to. But when you crack open a beer with your guys, that tension comes off just a little bit.
One beer for many won't be bad. But anyway, let's not go into that.
Let's not go into that.
Is it after work?
Yes, it is definitely after work. Those monthly meetings, they are not during work hours. That would be bad.
So you are taking personal time. Are you paying your people?
Yes, we do.
Okay,
we do. We make up time. Yep.
So I recommend you go out there, everyone. And Sam, by the way, jump in anytime. There's a great book by Patrick Lencioni called Death by Meeting, and it really helps you understand how to be a better meeting leader and how to really engage, because that was one of the big words you used, Chris, engagement. Any comments, Sam?
No, yeah, sure. Yeah. We hold meetings in our shop every Monday, and they start promptly at 8, and you can't be late for that meeting. And in that meeting, especially for me, I don't have a whole lot of shop ownership experience, so I lean a whole lot on my people. And I ask my people 3 things every single meeting: what went well, even better if, and then what we call our 5%. So it's part of our culture is like, hey, how do we go above and beyond for every single one of our customers to create a lasting impression on how awesome we are? And that's what we call our 5%. So, but every single time I ask the question, what went well? So, what did we do well last week? What can we celebrate? And then the other one is even better if, which is basically how did we screw up? How do we keep ourselves from screwing up? Um, because I've been open 8 months. There's a lot of things that I don't know. Every single person who works for me has way more experience in a shop than me. And so that gives me an opportunity to ask the question of how do we fix these recurring problems that we've had?
Yeah.
And then brainstorm off of that. And then I keep it all in a spreadsheet and I type it all out. And then also in that same time, I share with the team what our numbers were for that week. We have dollar an hour targets that we go over at that time too. So everyone knows kind of where we stand for the week.
Amazing. Sam's been in business 8 months. He came from outside the industry. He hired a coach right away, and you're doing so damn well. And we're really happy you're here. We wish you all kinds of success.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That's smart. So good for you, Sam. A lot of people, no, I'm not going to waste my guys' time. I'm not going to do that. And if you came from the outside world, then you certainly know meetings are part of life. They just are. I mean, and they're important.
It's totally different than like, hey, I need to talk to you about this particular car. That's a targeted interaction, and everyone's focused on the day of getting the cars done and what they need to do and what's on their plate. Versus on Monday mornings, it gives us an opportunity. Our heads cleared. We can digest what went well last week, what needs to change, and then put a strategy in place for that. And what we actually do as well is if someone brings in an idea that we don't have a solution to, then the entire team gets together without me on Tuesdays. I buy lunch, and then they try to solve that problem, and then they come to me with a solution.
Nice.
So I'll show you the best idea that has come from that is I'll show it to you guys when we do the walkthrough.
Great. Thank you so much. Hey guys, thanks. This was great. I hope, as we do with every show, that someone can grab an idea, an insight, and some wisdom in here and say, wow, I maybe need to start doing meetings. I need to temper my meetings. I need to take some of the ideas from both of those and build some structure in my meetings, because I don't really, if you don't, then you're running on autopilot and you're getting loosey, and like the mortar starts crumbling out of the bricks, and you wonder why the business isn't doing what it should. Hey guys, thanks so much for this. Don't forget, every episode that we do is archived on remarkableresults.biz/AW or the Aftermarket Weekly page, so you can see everything that's going on and all the tours that we've done. They're all there. We're in our, I think, what are we in our 58th week? Our 58th week. Coming up Friday's live Town Hall Academy, I'm going to travel again to Maryland, and I'm going to be at the 25th anniversary of Dynamic Automotive with Dwayne Meyer, Jose Bueso, and Lee Foreman. I'm going to spend a couple of days there, walk away with some great episodes, and do a live Town Hall Academy and talk about these three young men here. I don't know if they're young or not, but they sure do look a whole lot younger than me. And we're going to talk about their career paths, where they came from, where they're currently at, and what opportunities they have inside. And I'm just really super excited about that. Well, I think we are about ready to head out and to see this great tour that you have for us. And I just got to get my mouse in there. Well, Sam, you're going to be up here, and thank you for recording this tour for us. And we're going to get ready to slice it up, and you can do a narration for us. Ready?
Okay. So it looks like my camera skills aren't that awesome. I'm flying around all over the place here. But so this is just walking in from the front. You can see we're on a relatively major road there, Hempstead Road. We usually stage the cars exactly how you see there on the left, just so that people driving by can see the type of work that we do. You can kind of see from the other side there, the rest of our parking lot. It was really important to me to have a location that uh, stood out as you drove by. I believe that we sell quality from the minute someone gives us a call to as they walk up to the door and the kind of experience that they have. And so you'll see that as well as when you walk in here. We have a large waiting area that's very pretty that my wife did a very good job of decorating. Um, and we wanted to make it very comfortable for all of our clients. You can see our shop dog there, Red.
Tracy, could you stop the video for a minute? I have to ask you, Sam, do you rent that space out for any kind of family birthday events, weddings?
I don't rent it out for any events or any of that kind of stuff, but we host a lot of events at
Wow.
this location. And that was the other part of it too, is I wanted it to be a kind of place where someone walks in the door and says, "Whoa," because they're not used to that wherever it is they go. We're European specific. And I don't know if this is the right mindset to have, but I feel like our biggest competitor is the dealer. And so I want someone to have that dealer level of experience from the time that they call us to the walk up to the door, to walk into our waiting area, to walking into our shop. I want them to get that same comfortable feeling that they get at the dealer, and then we're still able to be less expensive than the dealer.
Wow,
So
great.
that's why,
Turn the video back on. That is absolutely off the charts.
yeah. Thank you. So yeah, you can see our waiting area there, our shop dog laying on the ground there in front of the TV. We've got some work benches there for people to work. And this is where myself and Eddie, the service advisor, sit and greet people there in front of that. Upstairs is a little bit of like a mezzanine area. I haven't done anything up there yet. I'm probably just going to do something selfish and like build a hangout area with a driving simulator and some other stuff up there.
Stop the video again. I'm sorry to chime in, but this is what I do, right? Seth Thorson has a brand new building going up, and in his mezzanine, just like you have, he's calling it the customer VIP lounge.
I like that.
And the reason that he's calling it that, because he doesn't have wheelchair access.
Okay.
And so everything that's downstairs in his place is repeated upstairs. And if people wanted to take the walk up there, they could. And it's the same thing, but he calls it a VIP. He's got other stuff up there that he needs,
Right.
but it's a mezzanine looking over. So,
Yeah.
wow, you have luxury space.
Yeah, I got super lucky with the space. It was actually built as a granite distribution warehouse. So here we are walking into the shop. You can see I've got all the lifts right now down the left side, but I've actually got 2 more lifts on order. Actually should be delivered this week to start lining lifts down the other side of the shop. We did a lot of work in here on the floor to make sure the floor is it's a 4-layer epoxy plus 1 layer of poly, and it's got some grit in it, so we actually have traction. You can kind of see some of the cars we're working on here. That red car, the 968, was fire damaged car. The tan car in the corner is a 2,600 mile Porsche 924 Turbo. And we're going to do some light restoration for a customer. But you can see we really run the gamut, everything from new Porsches to old Porsches to newer BMWs, Range Rovers. You can see our Hunter alignment machine there. Um, super rare Audi S6 Avant, along with a manual transmission Audi R8. And then we're kind of walking to the back here, and you can see I put these walls up to try to hide some of our mess. And as you can see, our mess is starting to flow into the main room here, but we're going to be putting some higher shelves in so that we can kind of hide some more of that stuff and get a little bit more stuff in there. But this here is what I was talking about that was actually an idea from the team. If you want to pause it right here. So these totes, we were having problems managing the parts coming through the shop. And we tend to have larger projects. Our average repair order is, I think this month, like $2,200. Last month, it's usually been averaging about $1,700. So, which means we have a lot of parts to wrangle. They don't always come in at the same time. And we kept having problems where, technician would start a job and it was like, where's my parts? So the team solved this problem by creating this tote system. And you can see on each one of these, I think I might actually come in and zoom in on one of these. I don't remember if I did or not. But the little thing on the left is where we receive the parts, and then our GS checks all the parts in, highlights appropriately of what's in, what's not in, what we're still waiting on. And then when this is ready, the technician gets notified and then comes over, grabs their tote of work, and they have everything that they need.
So who is telling the tech that all the parts are there?
The RGS does that right now.
Okay. All
So
right.
his job is to check in all the parts. I'm trying to hire someone right now that's kind of more of a estimator, expediter, parts manager type position, and then that's going to taken off of his plate. But for right now, that's the GS's job.
Wow. So you found this empty building and it's just perfect for automotive service.
Yep. Insulated, which is really nice. I've got a 24-foot fan coming in because it's just hot as hell in Houston right now. The guys aren't complaining too much, but I know it'll be much nicer if I can get some air movement in there. Yeah, I'm really embarrassed at how much of a mess this place is, but I'm also really looking forward to getting some
All right.
stuff in there.
Stop that. Let's stop the video and let me ask Chris. Chris, is it a mess?
I don't know. It looks like you could eat off the floors, Carm. Why we're not doing one of my shop visits.
Okay,
Looks
Sam,
wonderful, Sam.
Sam, you have to get a perspective from outside. I know how badly you want it to be perfect, but it looks pretty damn good from here.
Well, I appreciate it, guys.
It's pretty wonderful.
Wow, very nice, very nice. How many months in business? 8, 9?
Yeah, 8 months in business. We opened like October 10th, and it's been really good. We've got a lot of really, really good team members, and that's really what makes my job so much easier. There's nothing easy about launching a new business, but when you have a lot of really talented people around you, I've been doing it a long time where I don't have to worry about quality issues or throughput. Just leading the team well and creating a good company culture and make sure there's a lot of leads coming in. That's my primary job, is to create the opportunity. Then it goes much, much smoother.
Wow. Is there much more on the video?
I don't think so. I think we might be, oh, you know what? I think we're going to walk up on the mezzanine and kind of see from up there,
Oh, great.
as well as see my dirty office maybe.
Sam, I have to comment on the dog. Do you all ever have any problems with the dog? I love the dog. I'm just curious about other customers coming in that may have pet allergies. So I always a little cautious about that. Y'all ever had any of that problem with that dog?
It hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
A couple people have been, not everyone loves dogs, and we're mindful of that. But Red, she's my pet. She's super sweet. She even goes out and greets people in their car because she runs the whole place. So she'll go greet people and then actually guide them to the front door. So they love that.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is kind of the little mezzanine area there, looking out over the road. And then you'll kind of see here what the view is from above down into the waiting area.
I don't know. The future looks pretty darn bright.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Great stuff. Thank you, Sam. Sam Craven, the Garagisty in Houston, Texas. Good to see behind the scenes. How cool is that? Okay, guys, are you ready for the trivia? What year launched the Corvette ZR1, nicknamed King of the Hill? Well, the answer is 1990. You know, GM launched the new Corvette ZR1, nicknamed King of the Hill, equipped with the new all-aluminum LT5 32-valve V8 engine designed in collaboration with Lotus. Now, at that time, Lotus was partially owned by GM and assembled by Mercury Marine in Stillwater, Oklahoma, USA. It was considered to be one of the fastest production cars in the world with its top speed of 180 and a 0 to 60 in 4.3. Have you guys heard of the new Tesla Plaid?
Yeah,
They
I
just
heard they got rid of Plaid Plus, but they're keeping Plaid.
the Tesla S Plaid, 119,000, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Oh my God, guys. It's amazing where things are going, and we're in
Right.
the thick of it, aren't we? We're in the
Yeah.
thick of it. Yes. Hey, look, at next week, we're going to spend some time with Charlie Marcotte and shop tour out in the Woodlands, Texas, with Brenda O'Neill, and she's got some really cool things to show us. Hey, thanks to Chris Cloutier from Golden Rule Auto Care, CEO of Auto Text Me. Always great to have you on, Chris. And
Thank you,
Sam
Charm.
Craven. Wow, cool place, Sam. The Garagisty in Houston, Texas. And if you'd love to be on the show, talk about some wisdom, show off your shop, Carm at remarkableresults.biz. Great to have you all here. Thanks, everyone.